delay. Are we good, Matador, here at Metronome Studios?
I don't know.
This is fun.
I mean, I'm feeling good.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're. There we go. We're live.
We're live. There we go. We got it.
All right.
It's always fun when things are working. Here at the What's Happening Salem podcast in the beautiful Metronome Studios. And we have maybe Salem's strongest man with us today. We're going to also talk about Dax robots and how they're playing a role in security in Salem, learning more about what that can look like for us. But I appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I remember the first time that we met, you came to an event and you pulled out a horseshoe.
Yep.
And I was like, why is this guy bringing a horseshoe with him to just events? And then you told us about what you did and just like on the spot was like, I can do this, and just like bent the horseshoe.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a pretty incredible feat.
Yeah. That's what I do, is just feats of strength. I try to do motivational speaking. My goal is to get involved with like school districts somehow and doing assemblies and kind of like inspire the youth because they're our future.
Yeah.
And that's how we make our community better, is by inspiring our youth.
I love it. I feel like especially middle school kids are the worst. Like they're not impressed by anything, but I feel like even they would be impressed seeing somebody bend.
I've done it in front of middle school kids and they are like really like,
which says something.
Yeah. So, but you have to do it quick and be fast at it because you got to hold their attention because you have to do it within 30 seconds, if not 10.
Yeah.
So
they're scrolling quick.
Oh yeah.
Scrolling quick.
So that's why I always practice like tearing a deck of cards, bending frying pans. You want to bend terrorists?
We want the people of Salem who have not witnessed these feats to see. Like, let me test these first. Let me make sure this is a real deck of cards for your. I don't want you bringing a prank deck of cards, making me look foolish in front of my audience. They already trust nothing, so we got to make sure we're doing some due diligence here. But yeah, this is a real deck of cards.
Yep.
Okay. Does a brand matter? Any brand you're
Mavericks are a little harder.
Oh, you're doing the challenging set out.
So I get the challenging set out because you get the and you get the bicycle ones or the next step up, and then but you practice with the Dollar Tree ones when you can find them because they're hardly ever on the shelves.
Okay.
All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start tearing this.
Okay.
In half. So we're lined up. We'll go 3, 2, 1. Go.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
So we can see here, these cards are clearly ripped in half. It took him no time at all. Yep. How do you train to rip a deck of cards?
Just so what you do is you like either do a half a deck or like quarter of a deck.
Yeah.
And you just practice on the technique, and you just kind of add a little bit by little, even more because you can do that because it's pretty easy to train up for that.
Okay, I love it. Let's do one more feat, and then maybe we'll save one for a little bit later before we get Mason from.
I'll do the frying pan, and I could do the horseshoe at the end.
Let's do that. Let's do the frying pan, and maybe bring you back on for the horseshoe.
Yeah, sounds good.
A great idea.
All right.
So where do you get these? I feel like it gets expensive buying frying pans.
It does. I get these from Fred Meyer. I kind of find them on sale. I try to.
Yeah.
And so let's see here. I usually stand up and do this. But,
you want to?
Yeah, if we could, yeah.
Maybe help with the camera, Matador, to make sure we got him in frame as he's standing up to do this feat, this incredible feat that we got going right now. This would be a new feature we could have, the incredible feats of Salemites.
Yeah, because there's a lot of Salemites that have really good skills.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
So we're going to start.
Holy smokes.
There we go.
Let's go. That is incredible, man.
Yep.
Good work.
Thank you.
That's not an easy task.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So instead of security robots, we just need people like you running around.
Yeah.
With armor on and swords.
Yeah, and swords.
Yeah.
Like the Seattle superheroes.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking more like Game of Thrones, you know.
Oh yeah,
But
like the
Seattle
mountain.
Superheroes is
Yeah.
also a great reference.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on What's Happening Salem
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
we'll
thanks
have
for
you on
having
at
me.
the end to bend this horseshoe. See if you can do that or not.
Yeah, sounds good,
Maybe
brother.
we'll have Mason give it a try first.
Yeah.
And see if he can do it.
Yeah.
So,
thank you for having me.
Yes. So we have our next guest is involved with a team that created and manufactured the Dax robot, which is currently helping keep Pringle Park secure. It's been in the Salem Center Mall as well, and we're gonna get him mic'd up and then get him on the live as well. This is our first time doing multiple guests, which I think will be a fun element for the show. And with our incredible producer Matador running things behind the scenes so seamlessly, this will surely be a quick process. And he's here. Let's go. Thank you so much for being here, Mason Reeves.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Can we get that horseshoe up here first? Let's just have Mason give this a try to
man.
get started.
It's not gonna be anything. Let's see. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
not going.
Okay, so we just want to give
Nope.
some validity to our strong man and what an incredible feat that was. And he also brought the robot doll. Can you throw that up here, Matador?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Thank you for bringing Dax for us. I think it'd be fun to have a collection of souvenirs from our guests we can kind of display on the table. One of our first one, the Dax
Absolutely.
robot.
Yep. Yeah, this is the kind of what the model of our robot looks like in plushy form. A little fuzzier and a little softer, but just as friendly.
I love it. So tell us about Dax.
Yeah, so Dax is a company over in Philomath, Oregon. We're close, local. Our founder, his name is Joseph Sullivan. He wanted to make a robot that was going to be kind of a friendlier version of what he thought was going to be part of the future in some way or another.
Okay.
So, robots are going to be here. We're going to be seeing them. So why don't we just have like a really good standard for what a robot should be? And so we came up with Daxbot, or he and the engineering team came up with Daxbot. Kind of focused on making it friendly, not militaristic in any way, more innocent and cute, really.
Yeah.
And then the question is, what can we do with it? And so we started out doing food deliveries for a couple of years, kind of transitioned away from those, and we do two kind of main things right now. And so one of them, as you're familiar with, is the security robots. We have one over in the Salem Center Mall right now, doing great work over there and just kind of interacting with the shoppers and the guests at the mall as they come through. And then we just started a 2-month trial with the city of Salem at the Pringle parking garage. So the robot's going to be kind of patrolling through the garage and just keeping an eye on things and providing a sense of somebody sees this and somebody cares. So the other thing we do is the sidewalk assessments. And so we haven't done any in Oregon yet, aside from right in Philomath as we kind of tested and created the product. But we do sidewalk assessments for ADA compliance. So anybody who has a disability, such as people in wheelchairs, people with blindness, they may have a very difficult time getting around the city when sidewalks have large uplifts or are at steep slopes, or if there's trees in the middle of the sidewalk. And so our robot will actually roll down the sidewalks and collect data about the sidewalks themselves, including like those cracks, those uplifts, anything like that might cause a hindrance. We compare it against the public right-of-way access guide standards for what those measurements should be. And then we work with cities to give them that data so that they can transition their sidewalks to something more user-friendly.
Okay, awesome. So the Salem Center Mall was, I think, Salem's first introduction to Dax.
It's probably the most notable.
Okay.
I think we were in a parking a car lot for a couple of years.
Okay.
Over at the Lithias.
Okay. What has been the response from people who are using it? We'll start with first the private companies, and then talk a little bit about Salem.
Yeah, honestly, it seems like the customers really enjoy Dax. The part that kind of stands out is that Dax is, like I mentioned earlier, not militaristic or anything.
Yeah.
And so, in somewhere like a public mall where people are coming through, there's not a lot of there's some security deployments where people aren't supposed to be there at all. Really, we're just kind of alerting anytime that there's a person because we're not supposed to see anybody. But when we're in the Salem Mall where it's really public, really he's just providing a presence. He's being part of the community, smiling for photos, making little happy eyes expressions. and just providing an extra presence that says, hey, if there's an emergency, we have something they'll call right away.
Okay. Because I think the fear is like Terminator and RoboCop.
Right.
Right? Like this is step one, nice, friendly, cuddly Dax. And then we have AI and all these other things people are also scared about. And so I think you have the concerns like, what does this mean for the future? But also, is this watching me, recording me, and like, is this going to be like helping the additional like cameras that are just everywhere currently?
Right.
Like they had the Ring commercial where it was like, hey, we can find any dog anywhere, and then everybody was like, but you're also monitoring everything at all times, not just dogs.
Yeah, yeah, and that's definitely not something that Dax does. So as far as like storing video, for instance, if you ever play a video game on like the Nintendo Switch, there's a little button, you hold it down and it records the last like minute of video, I think. We essentially have that, where there's like a 5-minute loop. It records that 5 minutes of video, and if there's no reason, like if we didn't see any incident, if we didn't see anything happen, because the operators are actually monitoring these video feeds 24/7. If nothing happens, we don't need to save it. And so there's no need to save like any personal information. We just want to see like if there's something that has happened, somebody was hurt, we want to have video proof of that, and that's the kind of stuff we save.
Okay,
and that's about it.
So talking about the process of Dax, like something happens, so there's somebody monitoring it. They call the police department, or what does it look like from there?
Yeah, so over in Philomath, we have our command center where we have our operators who are actually operating and using these robots like 24/7. We have people middle of the night who are actually watching the video feeds of several different robots. The robot, really the only automated parts of what he's doing is he knows how to navigate his way around a building or around the parking garage or parking lots. And then he has got obstacle detection capabilities built in, so he doesn't run into anything. And then he's able to detect humans. He's not doing any like facial recognition or anything like that, but he's just able to go, it's for the purpose of like, is that a human or is that a traffic cone?
Okay.
That way, when there's a human, we can say, hey, there's a human on screen, just pay a little bit more attention. And so the operator will actually get a bit of a kind of a notification on one of his screens that he's keeping an eye on, so that he can go, oh, all right, there's a human in frame, just want to make sure that nothing bad's happening, make sure they're safe, make sure that they're not messing with anything they shouldn't be. Great, they just wanted to smile for a picture, and you can press a button and make him light up with happy eyes or hard eyes like that. If anything does happen, the process is as simple as the operator, as they notice that something's happening, they go, hey, this is the kind of thing we're told to look out for. Is that this is somebody who's maybe like they're messing with a car door for a really long time, and it looks like they're breaking something.
Yeah.
Or this is somebody who looks like they're injured and they're like crying out for help. Then they can go and call authorities. And so sometimes we'll work directly with a security company, and so we'll call them first. If it's a like high risk emergency, we'll go straight to police. So if somebody's life is at stake, police and ambulance and stuff, we want them on site first.
Yeah.
But if it's something really minor, we might work with our security company.
Okay.
So the operator stays on the line. They'll record that like that 5 minutes of video, just so there's some evidence, some information for people to go on, and then they're able to inform the police or the security company, so they know exactly what they're getting into. They can arrive prepared, arrive with the tools they need, arrive with the right state of mind, and with a little less panic.
Okay. So you've been in Pringle Park for about a week and a half now?
Yeah, we started, I think, 2nd day of February.
Okay. What have you noticed so far about the park?
So far, things have been pretty quiet. We've had a couple people who've come over and just said hi to the robot. I think people who are familiar with it at the Salem Center who've come up and they'll do the little heart gesture with their hands, asking for it to do its heart eyes.
Okay.
So a little bit of that so far. I think that there's kind of the typical anything you'd find in a parking garage is we're keeping an eye out for people who are breaking cars or driving recklessly through the parking garage. But first couple of weeks, it's been pretty quiet.
Awesome. Good to hear. 'Cause I feel like there is this, I don't know if stigma is the right word, but people feel like the garage is a very unsafe place and they don't want to park there. So it's good to hear that we have eyes on it and it's maybe not as bad as people have maybe assumed.
Yeah, and I think the big part of what Dax provides is, we're first and foremost, he's a deterrent from crime happening, a deterrent from untoward actions.
Yeah.
And so when you have something that essentially this is not super different from a camera system, except that it provides a physical presence as well. It lets you know, like, hey, this is being watched over because somebody cares about this, and we want, you're safe here, things are safe here, and that's what's important to us.
I love it. The other big concern people in Salem have had is that this is going to be expensive because it's going to get damaged. People are going to steal the robots. What's been your experience so far with vandalism and theft?
Yeah, we find that Daxbot really doesn't get vandalized very often. It happens. We actually do work doing security.
This isn't a challenge to vandalize Daxbot, just to clarify.
Yeah,
we want to look at this historical data.
Prefer it if you don't.
Yeah.
But we do security in other places. We're over in areas of Texas, Arizona, places that have a little bit higher property crime rates and even higher violent crime rates. We do see a little bit more vandalization there, and so that's not going to increase the hourly rate that we give to the city of Salem. In fact, their 2-month trial has been paid for up front, and that price will never change. And so there's no decrease there. What we find is that the importance of using the robot out in security is that it puts a robot out in harm's way rather than a person, because that's ultimately what's a more expensive in financially, and like also with there's a human life at stake when you have somebody out walking around doing the garage security. And so when we put a robot out there, we're able to pay him a whole lot less than you're going to pay a security guard, because if he gets hurt, we're okay with that, right? If anything, seeing a robot get hurt, a little sad because he's cute. Yeah, it's kind of a relief. The few times I've seen it, I'm like, man, that's somebody that didn't get hurt themselves, and so that's kind of the purpose of Dax.
Okay. And I think the other thing that people think about is like, all right, is this replacing jobs? It's actually creating employment, especially in Oregon, because you have these robots in different places, but they're housed here in Oregon, which is creating opportunities that even though the robot himself is an employee, the people behind it developing it are.
Absolutely. Well, and not just the people who are like operating the robots, right? We're hiring people to operate all of these robots and keep an eye on them. But we're also hiring people to do repairs on these robots when things happen, preventative maintenance, or against vandalism. We have people who are manufacturing them now. We have people who are selling them. People who are even coming out and doing some of the really simple stuff like robot falls over because somebody pushed it or because something went wrong. We have somebody who's hired to come and make sure it's uprighted and everything. And so the goal is to create jobs. You're absolutely correct.
I love it. What are some of the myths about Dax and robot security that are just completely not true?
Yeah, at least with us, I can't speak for every robotics security company. I've seen a few out there, and I'm not entirely informed on what they do. But some of the myths are this is a spy unit. This is just going to be like gathering a bunch of information on me, and that's really not what we're after. We didn't have any reason to be after that. It's just to provide a presence and keep areas safe and document minimal footage if we need it for safety's sake. I saw one of the comments on the Instagram post he had. It's probably full of copper. It's not. He's good. You're not going to find that much resell ability in the robot. But he's just going to. We made him pretty easy for us to do repairs onto when he needs to be, because he's in security. He's going to get vandalized. So other than that, can't think of any big myths right off the top of my head. There's always somebody who's kind of keeping an eye on him. He's never. I guess one big one is we'll get calls sometimes. It's like, I think your robot's lost. I think your robot is not. He's not sure what he's doing, or you guys know where he is. We always know where the robots are. We've got eyes on them all times. In fact, there's always somebody watching through the eyes of the robot, so we know what's going on.
So you mentioned that you can do the heart gesture and it'll make heart eyes. Are there other Easter eggs built in that we can share with our audience?
Yeah, so he's got, if you do the heart gesture, he'll give you heart eyes. He's actually got a whole range of eye expressions. So he's got these happy eyes, these sad eyes. He not quite angry, more like disappointed eyes.
I'm not mad at you, I'm disappointed in
Right.
you. Oh man, trauma, bringing back trauma for all of us.
I think he's got some sunglasses these days. Around Halloween, sometimes we'll do these little pumpkin, like jack-o'-lantern eyes. And then he actually has a few noises as well. He can make little beeps and boops, kind of like you see robots in Pixar movies do.
Yeah.
Where they're making little happy noises, and you can actually communicate with them quite a bit just based on the expressions and the noises they can make.
Is he responding to things that people are saying, or what are they, like the different eye motions generally a response to?
It's just a response to the kind of the situation. And
Okay.
so robots are semi-autonomous. And so there's some things that they're going to do autonomously, and then some things that our operators who are watching are going to kind of input a couple extra things in. And so as an operator is keeping an eye on things, they might see, like somebody's doing the hard eyes. Like, oh, I should give them the hard eyes
Yeah.
expression and let them have it.
Yeah.
Or like, somebody's really complimenting Dax. He might put on the sunglasses eyes and display like, yeah, I am pretty cool.
That's awesome. Okay, that's good times for sure. What is something that you feel like Dax is capable of doing that hasn't quite been explored yet? What's the future looking like for? Because it seems like the technology is built, and right now you're just exploring different use cases. You tried the foods thing, didn't quite work out, so now we're kind of exploring some other options. I'm kind of curious, like, what's the future of Dax look like in your opinion?
So there's a lot of ideas. Our founders, when they kind of started the company, they wanted to create the robot first and then start kind of looking for jobs for them. As far as I'm told, they've created a list of like 100 different ideas of what the robot could do.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen the list personally, and I've only heard of a couple ideas. But over the past few years as I've been at this company, some of the ones we've talked about are things from as simple as like helping mow lawns, kind of offshoots of what we're doing with security, where a robot could help like escort somebody to their like college dorm, like as like a walking buddy on a college campus. So there's a lot of options for what you can do. It's kind of your imagination's kind of the limit.
Okay, so I think there should be a party bot.
Yeah.
I think there's a couple of different examples of what party bot can do. One, it could just be like, out in the public and just like walks into a restaurant and it's like party time and like music plays. You have like lights, right? Exploring maybe like a fog machine, just impromptu party happening would be incredible. But I also think it could be like in just places people gather, and it could kind of help people recognize cues. Where it's like, hey, it looks like that person over there is looking at talking to you. You should say this to them to help create the connection. Because some people, like myself included, are really bad at understanding like body language and things like that. Or like, is this person scared of me? Do they not want me to talk? Or are they like inviting me to a conversation? So I think if a robot could help some of us who are socially awkward in those moments, that would be a very valuable resource in creating community.
Yeah.
Call it the wingman.
The
Shout
wingman
out
robot.
Wingman as well, who was one of our first, co-pilots on the show. But yeah, the wingman robot.
Yeah, I could definitely see a robot. I mean, like with Dax, he's really great for those public spaces, and so
Yeah.
Invite Dax to a party. I'm sure he'd be happy to just come over and hang around.
What kind of, and it could like the music could depend. It could read the crowd. Like, okay, this is definitely an EDM crowd, or they want some alternative rock. And, they would just know based on the audience. There'd be some margin of error, and they would learn. But
there'd have to be some research on how to read social cues on our end before we can start implementing the robot who can do that.
yeah, absolutely. You have to bring somebody in that understands all of that.
Somebody out there knows.
Yeah, it's not going to be me at all. We forgot to ask you which animal you think represents you. We like to ask all of our guests
That's right.
here at Metronome, this incredible studio where we are able to host our podcast, and we're very grateful for that.
I was looking at this bear up here. I think I kind of like him. I think he's drinking a Manhattan. He looks kind of relaxed.
He is very chill.
I feel like I probably relate most with him.
I'm realizing that doing this on giving you time to prep has allowed for a more thoughtful. I think generally we ask people while they're in the chairs, and so the bigger pictures kind of stand out.
Yeah, thanks for asking me ahead of time. I think I would have been looking around for a while.
Yeah. I think when I give the answer, I give two. I feel like right now, I think this duck is probably me. I'm just like, backwards hat, chill vibes. Don't quite have the gold chain, but I think I have gold chain energy sometimes, whatever that means.
Did you used to wear a gold chain? Gold chain guy?
I didn't. I have a hard time sometimes. I feel like I get really insecure with jewelry on. I feel like I'm trying to like do too much, and so I just have avoided it. It's just simpler to not think about it. But in the future, like I want to be that panda up there with like the top hat on and the suit. That's future Jacob right there. Which of these is Dax? Maybe you've had a chance to look at him a little bit.
Honestly, that sloth kind of catches my eye.
Yeah.
Well, probably just because he looks adorable. But he looks like a kind of a dapper young guy. I think Dax could probably relate a little bit with the dapper young sloth.
Dax reminds me that you combined Wally and Eva from from the movie.
You probably can't say that for copyright reasons, though, or can you?
I mean, it was never any of our intention. We looked
Yeah.
at kind of creating what looks like a cute robot, you know.
Okay.
So we had some help just kind of designing something that would be cute, received well.
Yeah.
But I hear that all the time.
Okay.
It looks like well, Eve had a baby. But yeah, and from some of the some kind of older generations, I hear a lot about. It reminds me of Johnny Five from.
Yeah.
Yeah, Short Circuit.
Yep. Which is I think maybe the first robot movie, right? Where you had like this AI robot interacting with people. What was that? 40 years ago now?
Yeah, it turns 40 in June.
40. Johnny Five turns 40 in June. Are you guys gonna do something, Johnny Five?
I don't know. Maybe we should. Maybe we should have a robot named Johnny. We actually do name all of them. So if you ever see a robot, one of our robots out in the wild, look at kind of right at the back of their head. You'll find a little QR code and a name. And so I couldn't tell you off the top of my head who's over at the parking garage, but I think Chester might be in the mall right now.
That would be a really fun social media campaign where like Johnny Five is, you find out is Dax's hero, and he's turning 40, and it's just like this whole like tribute to Johnny Five. I don't know.
Could be fun.
That'd be a lot of fun for sure. Yeah. What do you think, Matador?
No, I think that. I don't know. I've never really thought about robots being heroes like this.
You know, robots got heroes for sure. Yeah.
But I guess maybe Mason's changing my mind on it.
There we go. What do you think? Robots, heroes, enemies?
I mean, I think that it's good if you're doing something that's safe because this is a resource that is here that is gonna continue to get more and more. And I mean, it's super scary.
Yeah.
Because Terminator, you know.
Yeah.
And that's where we're all worried that it's gonna go with AI and with like the Boston Dynamics robots. I think everybody's afraid of that.
Yeah.
So
I'm curious, like, what are the philosophical debates you and your team have? Because you guys think about this way more than any of us do combined. This is your world.
We do spend a lot of time thinking about robots, and anytime anytime we see a video of a robot holding a rifle and doing backflips or parkour, it's we're glad we work with this robot.
Yeah.
I think kind of like I mentioned earlier, robots are going to be part of the future in some way or another, and so what we would really like to do is get our name out there, get our robot out there, and kind of set a standard for like, hey, if we're going to do this, let's do it with people in mind. Let's make sure that people are the priority, that we're caring for one another, and that the robot is a helper to humanity rather than some replacement or some enforcer or anything like that.
I think there was a time where you'd see robots doing crazy things and it wasn't a real video, and you kind of knew like, okay, this isn't actually what's happening. But we're at a place now where it's like, I don't know, like maybe robots are doing this, and they probably are. What are like the wildest things you're seeing in, what's the official term for this industry, I guess? Robotics?
Robotics, probably.
Okay.
Probably that one that I mentioned, I think I saw a video that I'm pretty sure was real of a robot doing parkour, holding, like large supply bags and things like that. And I don't know about that one. Something something like that looks a lot more frightening than something that's about 3 feet tall.
Yeah. It is weird because we live in this time where it's like all of these like dystopian futures are happening at the exact same moment, where like AI taking over, robotics, we're trying to bring freaking dinosaurs back to life. Like all this is happening right now. It's kind of overwhelming. Like what's going to kill us first? Is it going to be global warming? Is it going to be AI robots? Is it going to be hyperinflation? Like what's the thing that's going to get us? We have all these things attacking us from all angles.
Yeah, there's kind of a lot of uncertainty. I mean, even like if you think of kind of a common experience people have these days with a robot, it's probably the robot answering machines when you call like anybody.
Yeah.
You call some kind of business and you get the robot voice machine that you have to repeat yourself a few times because it just won't understand.
Give me a representative.
Right.
I want to talk to a representative.
At some point you're just, I want to talk to a real person, please. And so I think those seem like an example of things we really don't want robots to be doing. But I think what we do want robots to do are things that people don't want to do. Things that are like dirty, or we call it dirty, dull, and dangerous. It keeps us in mind, or gives us a kind of a mindset of what things to pursue. Are these things dirty and filthy and people are going to hate them? Are these things dangerous? Can we take people out of harm's way? Are these things horribly monotonous? Let's have a robot do it.
Yeah.
And then give people a job that's much more interesting.
Yeah, I think the conversation has shifted. At first, it was like, all right, you better go to school and get a degree because robots are going to take these jobs. But then I was like, nope, actually AI is taking all of these jobs that are like on
Mm.
computers. Like if you can type and it's a job, like AI can probably do it now.
Mhm.
And so it felt then like, all right, let's go back to like these manual labor type of jobs that are maybe more secure. But now it feels like it's just everything that a robot and AI will be able to do in the not too distant future, which is an interesting like feature to think about when like humans aren't necessary to like do tasks. How does our role in this earth evolve, you know?
Yeah, I'd be curious to see how we tackle those things with some of the like growing thoughts on AI in general.
Yeah.
But I think that there are a lot of things that AI and robotics can never really replace because there's such an importance and there's such an importance and a value in a human element.
Yeah.
Having human interaction is I mean, I think vital to people's health.
Absolutely.
And so I think that as different technologies get more advanced, I hope that and I believe that we'll realize that ultimately we need to have people.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree on I think about this all the time. Like the importance of community. That's a big focus of this channel and the work that I do is bringing people together because the data on loneliness is scary. Like they say it's as bad for you as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. And as far as like how it impacts your life expectancy, which is terrifying. And it's so easy to be isolated right now. I was having a conversation with somebody recently where we talked about in jail, like you would seem like you wouldn't want to be around other like prisoners potentially, but really the worst thing you could do is be in isolation, right? And right now we kind of do that to ourselves, where you're just like at home watching Netflix, ordering Uber Eats, we work from home, and like the sense of community isn't as important as it has been in the past, or it's not as much of a priority, but it's extremely important. So yeah.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
So when you talk about jobs that are potentially more safe, and not meaning to like label you an expert, you might not have an answer for this,
Sure.
but just in your experience, what you're seeing, like what industries do you feel like will be the least impacted or not as quickly as at least?
Yeah, I think that I think there's a big need for customer service, kind of like what you talked about, right?
Yeah.
At some point, there's a lot of opportunity just to kind of go through life and interact with machines and not ever talk to anybody. And
Yeah.
I think that people are starting to realize that we need to actually have some kind of interactions. And so I think that there's going to be, I think and I hope that there's going to be some kind of shifts towards back toward that. We think about robots. I've had people ask like, as you make more, if you find more ways to make this robot autonomous and do more things, you're going to need less people. And I think the answer is no. I think the answer is that like we're always going to need people who are involved with the robot. We're just going to change like what exactly those people need to do, and hopefully like we're going to automate the things that are really hindering them from doing the things that we want to be doing. Right?
Yes.
We want to be doing jobs that we want to do to the best of our ability, but we'll try to automate some of the more miserable parts of it away.
There you go. Yeah. And I think like the same thing happening with customer service, where it's like a lot of these like mundane tasks can be done by AI, but like the deeper work will probably be happening with a person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. And yeah, the person to person interaction. I know some people like going to a coffee shop to get your coffee, like that might be your person to your face to face interaction for the day. Because after that, you're going back home and it's all virtual calls. So just finding places for that so important. Absolutely.
It's huge.
I love it, man. Anything we didn't talk about that you think is important for the people to know when we're seeing a little Dax roam around Salem?
Just feel free to say hi, take a picture with it. Some of them will have stickers with some hashtags for social medias, and feel free to tag us. And we love to see people enjoying Daxbot and letting be part of the community.
Are people reaching out to you to sponsor Daxbot? I'm like, hey, let us put our logo on the back, like a QR code people can scan, or have Daxbot like project something onto a, you know what I mean, onto something?
No, I don't know that that's really happened a whole lot.
Okay.
Some of the companies we work with will typically ask for having their brand or their sticker on the robot somewhere.
Yeah.
And so I think even over at the city of Salem, we have some stickers that just let people know like who it's working for and what it supports.
I love it. The first Daxbot proposal, where it's like he projects onto a screen like a video montage of a guy and a girl or something, and then they turn on the music, right? And then they lights the room pink or a certain color, so it sets the mood. Man turns around on his knee. So much potential here for Daxbot.
Yeah.
Trading.
Wingbot. Yeah.
Yeah, Wingbot. Yeah.
Wingbot. Yeah.
When's the full lighting package coming these?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we don't have any like R2D2 holograms quite yet, but I think all the only lighting you'll really see with the robot is it's got a couple of like track hazard lights, just to kind of help with visibility, street crossings, things like that. some glowing lights in the bottom of them, and then his eyes, of course.
Awesome. What's next when you think of like making Daxbot better? What's the things you're working on right now with your team?
Yeah, a lot of our focus right now on kind of our improvements to engineering the robot have kind of been on the software side as we do some of the sidewalk assessment stuff.
Okay.
Kind of automating some of the like data categorization and processing things. But I think as we get to security, as I continue to talk with different people and there's different needs, I think we're going to start seeing some more work there. I'm not entirely sure what it is yet.
Okay.
But I think that at some point in the future we'll have different models of Daxbot. Kind of the model you see out there, he looks pretty much the same no matter what job he's doing, whether it's the sidewalk assessment or security. But I think in the future there'll probably be some that are a little bit bigger and some that are a little bit smaller. Yeah.
Awesome.
Probably different models.
We love it. And then let us know your Instagram and your website. People want to learn more.
Yeah, I think we're I Dig Dax on Instagram. So, and then if you follow Jacob here on his posts, I believe we're at least somewhere in the comments in there if you want to find us a little easier.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. Make sure you tag you and we post the reel from this as well.
Please do.
Appreciate you for being here, Mason.
Thanks for having me.
All right, John, the grand finale.
All right. Give this back.
I think so.
Yes, Matador, our producer, will do it. What time is it right now, Matador?
You got it.
Let me figure out a way to keep track of time.
It is 9:55.
All right, look at us making it happen today.
Yeah. All right.
I gotta work. I gotta get in the gym.
Let me get that.
I gotta get in the gym.
I've done this.
Yeah, you got a little bit going, yeah.
All right. So probably gonna do it
You wanna
over
use the camera?
here.
Let's do it. Yeah, do it where you want, man. You get
Yeah,
comfortable.
yeah.
This camera's mobile.
Yeah.
Record,
So
that's the nice thing about an iPhone with a tripod. We can move this thing anywhere we want.
I got this. So the horseshoe. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna straighten it and I'm gonna refold it into a heart
Let's go for Daxbot.
for Daxbot,
All right.
Wingbot. All right. There we go. All right. Now we're gonna keep going here. I'm all creaky today. I'm so sore.
Got this. You got this. We believe in you. Salem believes in you. All right, kids at home, clap your hands. He needs your energy. Let's go.
There you go. So wherever you do, you always put your full heart into it.
Let's go. Incredible finale. Thank you all so much for tuning in again for the What's Happening in Salem podcast. Let us know if there's people you think we should be talking to. Let us know in the comments. But we appreciate everybody showing up today. And when you see Daxbot out there, show him some love. Give him one of these, and you'll get the heart emoji eyes. Let us know if it works. Appreciate y'all.
Cool.
Yeah. Got it.